This video of 1316 Trigonometry covers Chapter 2, Section 4, Solving Right Triangles. These will be word problems. I'm David Dipple from Lone Star College, Montgomery. Okay, this is dealing with applications. And suppose we have a stated problem that a man climbs 213 meters up the side of a pyramid, and then he finds the angle of depression back to his starting point to be 52.6 degrees. How high off the ground is this man? So I drew a picture of a pyramid. I put a point someplace up since he's going to be walking up the pyramid. Now he looks out and depression is going down. So if he's looking out and down to where he started, it's 52.6. Now since the ground or the base of the pyramid is the same as the horizontal, 52.6 is the same as 52.6 inside the triangle. We know 213 is how far he has walked up the side of the pyramid. We can draw straight down inside the pyramid, and that will be our distance or height from the ground, which is x. Now we have a right triangle. 52.6 is our angle. X is our vertical component, and 213 is our hypotenuse of our triangle. So we have opposite, we have hypotenuse. The trig function we need is going to be sine, because sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of 52.6 is x opposite divided by 213. So you're going to multiply by 213, so you get 213 sine of 52. If you type that in your calculator, you should get 169.2. Okay, the next question. A ladder is leaning against the top of a 7-foot wall. If the bottom of the ladder is 4.5 feet from the base of the wall, what is the angle between the ladder and the wall? So we need to draw a picture. We're going to have a ladder leaning against a wall. Now, I've made my wall vertical and my ladder leaning against it at a slant. And what's the angle between the ladder and the wall? So here's my ladder, here's my wall, so I put my theta, my angle here, up at the top. The bottom of the ladder is 4.5 feet, and the height of the wall is 7 feet, so I put those numbers in. Then if you look, we have our angle, we have opposite, and we have adjacent. Tangent is the function we're going to be using, because tangent is opposite over adjacent. So tan theta is 4.5 divided by 7. You take your calculator and divide that. When you move the tangent over, you get tan inverse of 4.5 divided by 7, or 32.7. So theta is 32.7 degrees. Okay, another component of angles and directions are what's called bearing and direction. Now this is used in air flight. When you're dealing with airlines, airplanes, things like that, you have a bearing, that's the direction that you're going, and everything has to do with north, south, east, and west. So if you look at a little grid, just like your XY axis, north is going to go up, south is going down, east is on the right, and west is on the left. And you need to memorize those if you haven't already done so. Now, when you're looking at bearing, the way it's written, we start with the north or the south, so that's the direction we go, either up or down, and then they'll give us an angle, and they'll tell us to go toward the east or toward the west. For example, suppose we want to find north 40 degrees east. We're going to go north first, then we're going to go about 40 degrees, which is out here somewhere, toward the east. So your angle's out there. And we're just approximating where 40 degrees is. Okay, suppose we want to find south 50 degrees west. Well, we're going to go not up, but we're going to go down to the south. Then we're going to go about 50 degrees, which is a little past halfway out here someplace. And that's going to be south 50 degrees toward the west. Okay, the next one, suppose you want south and then east. So I go again south. 70 is way over here someplace toward the east. And then the final one, north 20 degrees and then toward the west. North Now I'm going to go toward the west, 20 degrees, which isn't very much, and it's up there somewhere. So that is bearing and direction. The first letter tells you north or south, the second letter east or west, depending on which way you're going. Now suppose, as a real example with numbers, a boat leaves a dock and goes 38 degrees, north, 38 degrees east, and it goes 9 miles. It wants to know how far north and how far east the boat has traveled. We need to draw a picture. So randomly we're going to pick a point. We're going to go north, we're going to go east. So I drew that. Here's my dock. Little dry humor there. Go north, then go east. And that angle we've done is 38 degrees. Now our actual boat is going to be along this line right here. It's going to be sitting down in space, and that distance it's traveled is 9 miles. Now we need a right triangle, so I'm just going to go straight across until I get to the north. You could go down, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go across, and I'm going to call that my x distance because that's the horizontal. And then we're looking for, or how far north did it go? I'm going to call that y because that's a vertical distance. Now we need to find our x and we need to find our y. Our north distance is y, so we'll do that one first. To get y, we have a 38 degrees. Y is adjacent, 9 is hypotenuse. Adjacent hypotenuse is cosine. So we have cosine of 38 degrees is y divided by 9. Then algebraically, we're going to multiply by 9, so you get 9 cosine of 38. Type that in the calculator, and you should get 7.1. Now, to get the east distance, if we have our 38 degrees, to get x, which is how far east you went, that's opposite, and 9 is the hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse is our sine function. So sine of 38 degrees is opposite x, hypotenuse 9. Move the 9 over just like we did earlier, so you get 9 sine of 38 is equal to x. If you'll type this in your calculator, you should get 5.5 is equal to x. Now in both of these cases, the 7.1 I rounded up, I believe it came out to be 7.09, and with the 5.5, I just truncated it to 5.5. On the test, I will ask you for a specific number of decimals. As long as you're close, if that was 5.4 or 5.6, you're all right. As long as I see this component and get down there. Those are all the examples we're going to do. They should come out of your homework. Go back to WebAssign and do those. Hopefully you're successful.